Hello, Facebook friends and beloveds. I'm going to call you beloveds because that's what I believe about you. I believe that this is a divine appointment for us to meet here on the screen. And especially if you stay and listen to me, I'm Judy Herman, author of Beyond Messy Relationships. And I want to share with you what you need to know about the knowing and doing gap. I'm also a psychotherapist, but this is not a substitute for counseling, of course. But a lot of people who read my book, I'm telling you, that read Beyond Messy Relationships, because I show up as a therapist at the beginning of each of the chapters. But it is a story, an intense and dramatic story about my life, when most therapists will write intense and dramatic stories about their clients. But it's basically memoir, but also insights about you, okay, that you can really glean from. But I want to share with you, it is Counseling Awareness Month. I have been featuring some remarkable therapists. Last week, make sure you tune in to who I have interviewed and had conversations with, because we are all people who love to help. This is a remarkable profession to be a part of. And the beauty about it is that we increase in our awareness. And after I wrote my book, I really think every therapist needs to write their own memoir for the sake of increasing their awareness and being more effective as they help their clients. But first of all, what I want to share with you, the main thing I'd like to share with you, is just a little tidbit of information that could really help you move the needle in your life and moving forward with wherever you are. Okay. So, what you need to know about what I call the knowing and doing gap. So, first of all, this knowing and doing gap is certainly a human condition. Why do I even know that? It's because everybody on the planet, I'm using this little stress ball of the world, right? But we're all connected because we're all human beings, right? And we all struggle and have struggled with the knowing and doing gap. I know that because I love reading ancient Greek literature. Well, I call that the New Testament. The Apostle Paul talks about in the book of Romans, those things that I wish to do and intend to do, I don't do. And those things that I don't want to do is what I end up doing. Now, neuroscience has actually caught up with this ancient wisdom. It is a human condition, and we need to do something about it, of course. But as far as neuroscience goes, there's so much that we do by habit. There's so many automatic thoughts and behaviors that we do, and we don't even think about it, and we are masters at rationalizing. I'm going to give you an example. And for me, I've basically I've been pretty consistent with these email or the Facebook lives. I'm very proud of myself for the last maybe almost 2 months maybe, and I'm very thankful for that. But I have talked myself out of showing up in the inbox of those people who are following me, like at least once a week, to make sure, hey, I'm still here, you're still here. Let me make sure I check in with you. I'll let you know what's going on with me. But I've become masterful at rationalizing. I can do it next time. Well, every time that we rationalize something, and that might be getting up out of bed at a certain time, it might be going to bed at a certain time every night and not getting your rest and your sleep, but you rationalize, this one when time won't matter. And then you do that over and over and over, and you don't realize what a habit that's becoming. So here's what happens in the brain. In the brain, in the neural pathways of our brain, there's gazillions of neurons, and there's these pathways. That's like if you were to take a hike, which, by the way, I've got a therapist hiking club, and we're going to be hiking this Saturday. I'm so excited about it. If you're in the Chattanooga area, please join us. But it's like going on these well-worn pathways in the woods on a hike, and there's the trailblazers, and you know exactly where to go. That's where our habits are formed, and we don't even know we're going in that direction. Every time we rationalize in our mind, we are strengthening. It's like strengthening our muscles. It gets stronger and stronger, and we don't even realize that the thing we don't want to do or the thing that we do want to do, we're not following through. That's a knowing and doing gap. So first of all, realize these automatic habits are happening automatically and we don't even know it. Well, that's why in my book, I talk about breathing fresh air, this increasing in awareness and intentionality and taking risks of growth. Okay, breathing air, AIR. Okay, so that's what I want to share with you. And we don't know what we don't know. Now, some of us, we've gone through a lot of stuff, right? And it is time. There's time that we do need to step back and we do need to reflect. And there might be some losses that you've gone through. Give yourself permission when you need to take time away, but be intentional about it. Don't say I'm going to do this and then I end up doing that, right? So we need sometimes to just reflect, reevaluate, and reframe our lives. But we also need to do that with every one of our habits that we don't even know are habits, that are like unconscious behaviors and thoughts. And the more unconscious that we live our lives, the more we're going to miss out on our lives. And our lives are so beautiful and meant to be lived abundantly and fully. So first of all, I wanted to share this is a human condition. And then secondly, of course, I kind of already mentioned it. We're masterful at rationalizing. And be careful what you are habitually becoming masterful at. Be thinking of those neural pathways and those trailblazers. What we don't know that we have these automatic thoughts. We don't know that we're recreating and making stronger these neural pathways that make us do, or, that make this such a struggle. So that's why it's so very important to hang out with people who can help, who can be a support. Now, I'm excited to tell you that I'm going to be presenting, my intern and I going to be presenting another group called From Chaos to Calm. And that's going to be starting in a couple of weeks. I'll give you some more information about it as time goes on. But this is going to be remarkable, and it's going to really move the needle in your life. So just remember, it's a universal human condition. We all struggle with it. People from the past, people in today's world, and it's as old as humanity that we struggle with this knowing and doing gap. And that, number two, we are masterful at rationalizing, and we need to recognize that and become more conscious. And then we don't know what we don't know. But here's what I'd like to invite you to do is just take these deep breaths of air, awareness, increase in awareness, increase in your intentionality. And then when you have opportunities for growth, which will always be a risk to get out of your old familiar way of being into a new way, and you will have that basis. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So if you like this material, if it resonates with you, please like and share it. And I would absolutely love it, especially if you are a people helper in some capacity, whether you're a therapist or whether you're a pastor or whether you're a leader in other ways. Please take the therapist awareness quiz on my website, judycounselor.com. And if you want to have a kind of evaluation with where you are in your relationship, you can take the relationship stress quiz also on that same website, same page. So we don't want to try to change too many habits at once. And I will talk about the how-to tomorrow. And then on Thursday, one of my colleagues, Rachel Harvey, will be joining me. So we'll have an interview on Thursday. So stick with me, and just remember that you're not alone in the struggle, but you can do it, and you can do the next right thing. I'm Judy Herman, author of Beyond Messy Relationships, and thank you so much for joining me.